being listed in the national budget sometime in October, November. As we all know, the financial year ends September coming, which is almost few weeks away. And as such, I ponder deeply and deliberately to ask myself, what was the last two budgets like by this Q-tip political organization? Q-tip is the symbols, QTP, that's the symbols. And that's what I go with. The symbols determine the name of the party. You have PDP, you have PNM, you have UNC. Whatever your symbols are, that is the name of your political organization. It is Q-tip, QTP. The QTP party in the month of June 2022 came out with the first budget under the cloak, I call it the cloak, of the PDP, the Progressive Democratic Patriots. It was with great enthusiasm they presented that budget to the people of Tobago, claiming that it was their first budget and they were the second political organization to present a budget in the Tobago House of Assembly. With great enthusiasm, they committed to the Tobago people that they would be fulfilling the mandate given to them at the polls, the PDP mandate. That budget was entitled Towards a Greener, More Autonomous Tobago. Within that first year, they all departed from the PDP, threw off the cloak, and they put on their true colors. They refer to themselves as independent, but in the next budget following, which was the 2024 budget, with the state budget statement being entitled Building a Sustainable, Prosperous and Resilient Tobago, they refer to themselves as this administration. It is quite important that I pause at this point to emphasize how they move in the first budget presentation, calling themselves PDP and committing to the mandate given to them at the polls, to in the last budget, which was given last year, stating or referring to themselves as this administration. If you go with me to 2021, the PDP would have campaigned on fixing this. As a political leader and founder of the PDP, my mind was this, referring to the people of Tobago. Let's fix this, let's fix Tobago, let's get it right. But it only came to my sad realization that the this they were speaking about was themselves. You can find it in 1.4, 1.6 of the budget statement entitled Building a Sustainable, Prosperous and Resilient Tobago. Under 1.6, you will find them referring to themselves as this administration. It's sad to see how we would have moved from a high level where we are fulfilling the mandate given to the party by the Tobagonians at the polls to now fixing this administration. I was asked by the media, and I'm here to present this morning, what are my expectations of this budget. My mind goes back to 2002, a movie entitled The Island of Lost Dreams. Spy Kid 2. You could find it, check it out, see what it's like. But The Island of Lost Dreams. When I say that, it is because I've reached a conclusion. And it took me a while before I reached that conclusion that we have now become the island of lost dreams, and we have been laughed at, we have been scoffed at, and there's not much that we can expect coming out of this budget. To be taken seriously, one must do a candid review of the most recent budget statement, which was done last year in the month of June. It was a budget statement amounting to some $4.5 billion. Any budget statement has to be made on reality and not fantasy. Our reality is that the government of Trinidad and Tobago, the central government, they have always given us 2.5, 2.6 of the budget. Billion dollars, let me put it that way, 2.5, 2.6 billion dollars on a yearly basis to govern or to manage our affairs in Tobago. And it always bothers me that my colleagues who are breathing the same air as I am, walking the same streets, confronting the same people, the same challenges, are operating as if they are on drugs. They operate as if they are on a different level to us on the ground. Last year they came with a budget, $4.5 billion. That's what they presented to Trinidad. And they received, based on my last evaluation, $2.6 billion. 2.6, because they got a $50 billion from the mid-year review. So it's now $2.6 billion they have gotten. How much of that money we in Tobago had expected to return to the coffers via revenues? About $211 million was the amount of money they expected to collect in revenues within that last budget, 2024, which is now about to conclude. If you are asking for $4.5 billion and you expect to have a revenue of $211 million, scope the difference. $4.5 billion, that's $4,500 million you want to spend. But you are only receiving revenue on $211 million. It means that we are running a deficit budget in Tobago. Anybody who goes to the House of Assembly and presents a deficit budget and expect that to win the acclaim of Tobago people, they are not ready to lead. They are pursuing the island of lost dreams. However, we in Tobago, we have had a different dream in 2021. We dreamt of prosperity. We dreamt of $10 million for every electoral district. That was $150 million to be allocated. That should have come from the development budget. $10 million should have given to every district so as to allow a certain level of domestic consumption, a certain level of domestic work activity, so as to put people to work. This administration, the dream team, they have failed tremendously to give any money to the communities or electoral districts, thus creating hunger, pain, and frustration in the Tobago community. It further worries me when I looked at the last budget in 2024 budget from the THA expected altogether to generate a revenue of $6.5 million. Is that a joke? Is that a joke? The THA is a corporate body by law. And they are saying, as a THA, from renting Shore Park, from renting the Botanic Gardens, from collecting license for man to hunt and these little things, all right? THA itself, they're all the little subsidiary companies, etc., and the things they manage. They were expecting to make $7.5 million. Note the M, $million. That is ludicrous. It's laughable. It speaks to an economy that is damaged from the word get-go. When you begin with a deficit budget and you're not even breaking even, or year after year, you keep telling the Tobago public that all you could make from taxes is about $225 million, you are making yourself a laughing stock. And I want to ask my Q-tip colleagues, because I want to know if this time around, when they present the budget, if they will refer to the budget as this administration, or as the PDP administration, or as the QTP administration, knowing fully well that they recently got recognition, so to speak, to be a political organization. That to me would be the greatest insult to the people of Tobago, who on December 6th, 2021, voted for the Progressive Democratic Patriots. They voted for a plan that will develop Tobago and place Tobagonians first. They vote for a difference in political trajectory. And now, you are forcing upon them, by way of subterfuge, by way of hijack, you are forcing upon them the Q-tip party. The last time I checked, I consulted my wife, asked her for a Q-tip. She asked me, "What, you're going to clean your ears?" And I have to ask myself, is it that Tobagonians are hard of hearing, that the only thing they can come up with is a party named Q-tip? Maybe we are hard of hearing for standing and supportingly, quietly, the nonsense that are taking place in our society today. They have failed us. They have created a level of depression that has not seen since 1889, because that was a huge blow for Tobago to become a ward of Trinidad after being independent from since 1769. Tobago was an independent country with its own constitution. In 1889, when they joined us to Trinidad and they called us a ward, that was a Great Depression. They took away our treasury, they took away our court system, and they now make us someone that Trinidad will give a little handout to. And they continue to give us handout. And my people here who are talking about autonomy needs to understand the conversation needs to change. Tobagonians are talking self-determination. And in this budget coming up, I am hoping that self-determination would have been the major issue. But no, watch this now. In the first budget presented by my colleague, he referred to that first budget as the move towards a greener, more autonomous Tobago. They were on the vision, even though you got the word wrong, towards a greener, more autonomous Tobago. But now, while being interviewed by some journalists, he was quite quick to exclaim that the focus on this budget is security. How did we move from that glorious ideal of a more autonomous Tobago to security being the major factor when national security is not under our purview, when any security in Tobago has to meet the subscription of the chairman of the National Security Council, who is the Prime Minister, a man who is at loggerheads with him, a man who has said he will not forgive Farley. How could he expect to make security the focus? Huh? When the National Security Chairman, National Security Council Chairman, the Prime Minister, is saying, I will not forgive Farley. I'm quite concerned whether or not Tobago is fast becoming the island of lost dreams, that 2002 movie, Spy Kids 2. I'm wondering if Farley is the director of that movie, if he's taking us to a place of nowhere. I'm concerned this morning because security officers are not being paid because the security firms are not paid. I met a man last week. He's working to some URP, something like that, and they have not been paid for a long time. I wonder, where are we going? Where are the dreams we once had? Where are the dreams? We came in with a high, the PDP. And now it seems as if Farley wants to leave on a low. I want to ask another question this morning, and I want the question to be answered in the budget. The government spent $60 million in 2015 for sanctuary villas. Tobago is big on tourism, so they claim. The chief secretary flies all over the world, going to World Trade this, World Trade that, carrying man to scream in people's ears and as if you're bush people. He does all type of stuff. But what people are coming to Tobago to see is hotels, places with natural environments that makes them feel as if they've been somewhere. Sanctuary villas has already been built. The structure, infrastructure is up, but it's not completed. Having spent $60 million for that in 2015, what did the Farley administration, this administration, what have they done to ensure we monetize and operationalize the sanctuary villas? They have to speak to that in a serious way in this budget, because it's money Tobagonians have spent. They had expectations, and we are still short on rooms in Tobago. My next concern is the $8 million spent on Manta Lodge, and another set of $1 million spent, bringing Manta Lodge to an overall cost of $32 million. And they have refurbished it. And I'm being told that Manta Lodge is being used as a romping shop for certain elite persons. Yes, and the tourists can't get there. That's what I've been told. I'm a representative of the people. The Manta Lodge has been used as a romping shop. It's open. It's a romping shop, but closed to tourists and for making money. We have indeed become an island of lost dreams. On the platform, what we would have said to the people, myself as a political leader, as a founder, as a man who was leading the PDP, we said we are going to create what is called a cooperative within that district. Yeah? The Speyside, Charleville, Lansome, Castara district. And put that cooperative to run Manta Lodge. Yeah? Because when people are invested into their own projects, they take care of it more. And they want to see it succeed, because they stand to benefit from it. All right? The PDP presented a win-win-win strategy for all of those projects that the government would have taken on and are going nowhere. So when I say win-win-win, what I mean is this. There must be a win for the Tobago people. So any project that is of a tourism nature, that involves any foreign person, and if it's local, the people must win. So we're going to make the people of the district shareholders. They have to protect it. It means they will want it to be successful. They must be shareholders. And the second shareholders would be the THA. They must have a part to play in it, so as to ensure that everything is done to maintain it and ensure it is run properly. And the third shareholders should be private investors. We want private investors to come and pump fresh money into it, because we have limited money also. What I'm seeing, my good friend, the Chief Secretary, is saying that they're looking for a private operator. Since when we want a private operator to manage all of what we have at Manta Lodge up there? Since when? And if you want Manta Lodge to be managed by a private investor, why are they trying to turn it into a romping shop? Why aren't they simply, based on their requests for proposals, inviting people to come and sit and keeping us abreast? They are not keeping us abreast at all of those requests for proposal. I'm quite concerned by how our dreams became nightmares overnight. And a budget is a statement to the community about their dreams. A budget is a statement to the community about how the executive, from where they are perched, see the development of the island That's what it is. But all we are seeing is misery, bad press, and bad spending of money. And I don't know what they're going to do in this budget, but I'm going to say to you, they need to account for Sanctuary Villas and for Manta Lodge. Both of them are only raking up more and more money, with security looking at it, and no money is coming in. I also want to ask them about the Condor flights. Condor flight is a seasonal flight prior to my colleagues claiming that they are this administration. We had Sunwing coming to Tobago from Canada. Yeah? We had Virgin Atlantic coming to Tobago from UK. Yeah? What we have now is only 2 international flights, and they want international tourists to come here. Condor and BW. Well, Condor, and BA. British Airways. These are 2 international flights that they have here. How could we be an island that is big on tourism and it's only 2 flights we have per week? If you are unreliable with providing persons with airlift, they will think twice before they come. A person may want to come today and leave tomorrow because they're on to another thing. But when you have these flights coming once a week, some folks want to come for 4 days, not 7 days. What happens then? Must they go to Trinidad, go to Barbados, someplace to take another flight? Let's do better than that. We can't depend on hotels alone to bring in airlift. But the THA must position itself to bring in airlift based on its offering to the international community. I'm also hearing that on both BA and the Condor flights, the THA is paying for seats. And if those seats are not filled, the THA has to pay for them. I want to ask a question. I hope they report on that. How much money had they had to pay for empty seats in BA and Condor for over the last fiscal year? I'm also concerned that in the last budget, they spoke of 1 model house that was built in Bonaccord. 1 model house. And they had promised the people of Tobago that they will build 20 more model homes by the end of 2023. Where are those model homes? My colleague, the Chief Secretary, probably need to give account for that. You see, he's busy to talk. He's a quick speaker. But he delivers very little. I don't want to say nothing. I'm still waiting to hear what he has delivered. Very little. It is so minuscule that you have to take a telescope to identify what they have delivered. It's so minuscule. You have to take a microscope to say what they have delivered. Very little. Very little. That to the naked eyes, it looks like nothing. After building 1 model home in Bonaccord, they told the Tobago community, we're going to build 20 by 2023 year end. It was a PDP mandate that in every electoral district, and there are 15, we would build 20 homes a year. And the people within that district would have built those 20 homes. We are talking again, stirring up the domestic economy of the community. So the electricians, the plumbers, the masons, the carpenters, etc., even those who are selling food and juice, would be able to make some money where the THA would acquire private lands or state lands and build 20 homes a year in every community. If you do the maths, 20 by 15 districts, that is 300 homes a year. All done within the community. Yes. But here we are seeing my good colleague promising Tobago 20 homes by the end of last year, and as far as I understand, no home has been built from that. You want to find out what's going on there. We have heard last year the budget report saying that they have revitalized and reoperationalized some 25 village councils. We heard that last year. And we say, wow, the villages will now have a mouthpiece. But the last thing we read about the village council on the newspapers and the media was the Secretary for Community Development, who was then Mr. Baines, Secretary Baines, taking away the keys and closing a community center from women who was doing a program to develop themselves and their community. So how could you revitalize 25 village councils, and yet your own secretary is closing a village council door, taking away the key and tell them stay out, have manners, shutting down women who were going to learn things to develop themselves and their own economy, etc. We need to hear much more than that. We heard that over 800 rotational jobs were created. Over 800 in URP. That is another name for cutlass work. They create 800 cutlass work. I thought the father of our independence, Dr. Eric Williams, said, throw away your cutlass, the children's future in their book bags. But he's saying to our people, take up the cutlass. That's where your future is. 800 10 on and 10 off jobs. You're working 6 months for 3 months pay. That could never be right. This has to be the island of lost dreams under Farley's administration. Where are the dreams? Where are the dreams? We were supposed to develop our economy and thus create real meaningful work that is synonymous with our people, education, and where they desire to see themselves. We ought to be telling people, pursue this, pursue that, because this is where Tobago is going. Right now, they're only giving them cutlass work, and they have damaged. They, along with the PDP, have damaged a whole generation of Tobago youths. That all they're asking for now is morning work, our cutlass work. And they have this cutlass work well distributed. Tourism have cutlass work. Agriculture have cutlass work. Works or infrastructure has cutlass work. Yeah? Health has cutlass work. All over has cutlass work. That is the big thing in Tobago. Cutlass work, cutlass work, cutlass work. These are the dreams they are selling us. Over 800. But that's not all. They said that they would make some of those jobs permanent at the end of 2023. Well, we are still looking to see how many of those persons became permanent. We are still looking to see that. They boast last year of training 1,000 persons in vocational skills. Where the opportunity for these persons to practice when we have an economy that is dead as a red herring head? Where are the opportunities? Businessmen are going to the bank asking to refinance their loan and they're being told no. Mortgages are due, and we have a society in Tobago that is in collapse. And you're training people without pointing them again in any direction. How could you not be lost if you are going somewhere but you have no direction in which to go? They will just stand around and scratch their head and say, where are you going? Why I know yet, no? I'm going somewhere though. I'm going out. Where are you going? I don't know. That's what's going on with my people. If you ask them, where are you going? I don't know yet, but we're going somewhere. That's the Farley administration. I want to just go back to where I started. In 2022, when all of us took office, and the world was bright and sunny, and the vision was clear, Farley said this. He said it was a momentous occasion for the brand new Progressive Democratic Patriots administration. It is the first time in 21 years that Tobago is receiving policy directives from a new dispensation. We are the third political party since the installation of the 1996 Act 40. and they commit to serve the people of Tobago. Brand new administration. How could a brand new administration become so old and rugged and so tattered without 4 years being completed as yet? How could they be so weathered by the storms without even enduring one complete term? That's my question. Can they really lead Tobago any further along the path that Tobago wants, that Tobago voted for, and Tobago desires? If the first budget was based on autonomy, and the second budget was based on prosperity, and neither budget have delivered anything for Tobagonians. There is no autonomy. We are as far from it now as we have ever been. The last thing he said last year on autonomy in the budget statement is that they will spend $6 million. That's right. $6 million they will spend to do a document, a position paper on the constitutional amendment. Look for it, it's there. He said that. They're going to spend $6 million to do a position paper on the constitutional amendment. Who got that money? Was that money spent? Was that money spent? Why are they spending money for that which is not bread? As I wrap this interview up, I could go more. I want to take a few salient questions. But I'm quite saddened by this show, this charade, this speaking glibly in the lips, but empty minds and zero drive to get it done. Tobago, under the Farley Augustine administration, the DIS administration, or if you want to call it the Q-tip administration, that's only good to clean airs, wax, removal of wax, you know what I mean? That team is going to wreck Tobago if they are allowed to continue to lead. Farley is not my enemy. He is my colleague. None of the executives inside there are my enemies. I'm all my colleagues. But it's something you call tough love. You got to say it as it is. And this is not me saying it out of any malice or ill intent. I want to shake them up. As a father, sometimes I have to shake your children and say, hey, catch yourself, wake up, wake up. And this morning, I'm here to say to Farley Augustine and his team, catch yourself, wake up, wake up. We are fast becoming the island of lost dreams. I now take questions. Am I so eloquent? Let me take a drink of water.
Mr. Duke, the itinerary for the Tobago Heritage Festival was released recently. And in it, we've realized that a lot of the popular presentations, the Koto, Pembroke, even Blackrock, are no longer taking part. I just wanted to get a perspective on that.
It has to do with people feeling lost in Tobago. People feel as if they have been disenfranchised by the Farley's administration. There is no longer the will of Tobagonians to pursue dreams. They are just lying down now and hoping to get some rest, but no dreams. It's a sad state to reach because personally, I know Pembroke, they were very good with the Heritage Village. Blackrock, they stood out from the rest, perfect in the demonstration of heritage, and totally, when we come to Lescotho, people would have left Trinidad from all over to even hear about those Jumbo stories and the old-time way of doing things. So it's sad that after a few years in office, people are no longer interested in culture and their heritage. When one of the things about self-determination is that the cultural development of an island should always be left up to the people of the island to develop it. Yeah? So don't be surprised if you see Trinidadians coming here and keeping heritage relative, because that's where his friends are. That's where their friends are in Trinidad. You may see a few people coming up and they may be renting the complex the Shore Park Cultural Complex to present a different type of heritage in Tobago. Something that will only mock us. Yeah? Well, I think that this was a very clear, concise, and elaborate interview at the same time. And I want to thank you. In closing, I just wish to remind the Spartans out there that all is not lost. On the 25th of August, 2024, that's right, the 25th of August, 2024, the Progressive Democratic Patriots, the PDP, would be staging its campaign launch for the 2025 general elections and 2025 Tobago House of Assembly elections. It will be taking place in a very engaging atmosphere at my residence, and all Spartans are invited. I emphasize the word Spartans. It will be a great occasion of fellowship where we'll simply be able to mix and mingle with each other and to inspire each other with the new dream of Tobago. Because the revolution we spoke of has not yet taken place. The revolution is yet to come, and this time, I guarantee you, the PDP will create the long-awaited political revolution. I thank you. The first time I see that question is where that one? Senior journalist now. You are senior journalist.